Blue skies, great trails. We are in Brixen, South Tyrol for the Mountain Bike Festival, where we're going to be hunting down some fresh 2022 bikes and product. You know, the great thing about festivals, or should I say testivals, is that you get to see bikes and people who you've not seen for ages. And I have to say the music is pretty special as well. But this bike, the Cora Tech, now Cora Tech is from Bavaria. It's always struck me how really well put together and well spec'd these bikes are, as well as the geometry. Now this is the current bike, the 2021 bike, which has got the current Bosch Performance CX system in it with a 625 watt-hour battery. I just want to give you like a taster for what's to come, because in a minute we're going to have a look at the new 2022 bikes, which of course have got the new Bosch Smart system. So it's time now to look at the new 2022 bikes from Cora Tech, and I hope you guys can see, but there's a really good paint finish on these bikes. Now there's two bikes. There's the 160 bike, which is the e-Power, and then there's the 180 bike, which is the e-Power iLink. Now there are two very key differences between the 160 and the 180. Well, the 160 comes with 27.5 wheels, 160 mil travel obviously, but this one has the new Bosch Smart system, which has the new LED controller, plus of course the new Kiox 300. But the most important difference is of course that it's got the 750 watt-hour battery. Cora Tech certainly know their geometry. We've got a 65-degree head angle, 445mm chainstay, and a good size of reach. We've got 455mm in medium, up to I think it's 475 in large. I think you'll agree, it's a very nice looking bike. Possibly what I didn't mention is that both the iPower and the iPower iLink come with 27.5 wheel size front and rear. But the other difference is the fact that the 160 bike comes as an aluminium frame, whereas the 180 bike, 2022 model, comes with an all carbon frame. And that's reflected in the price too, because the aluminium bikes start at around £4,000 up to £7,000, and the carbon bikes from £7,000 up to around £11,000. And also the iPower iLink, which is in front of me now, has a automatic kind of lockout suspension design on the back. I really like the fact that this bike has got a 2.8 on the rear and a 2.4 on the front. And there's also a few nice other touches, such as Cora Tech's own bash guard of the Bosch motor there, plus of course this little charging port at the top of the head tube. Really nice touch on this bike. And of course the angles, slightly slacker, slightly lower. You can come here to Brixen and ride any e-mountain bike for free. You just need some identification. So as you can see, there's a small fleet of Moterras and Habit Neos here, but I think Jerome is actually waiting for some more bikes to come in off the hill. Knox Bikes is originally from Berlin, but is now based in the Tyrol. Still, it is German designed and all built in Austria. Now, they've got a wide range of bikes, and they use both Fazua, Brose and the Zax motors. In terms of the travel, they've got bikes from 130, 160 and 180 in 4 different sizes and 3 different specs in each range. Now this bike is the 160 bike. It's got the Zax motor kicking at 110 Nm of torque, a 650 watt-hour battery, and what really strikes me about this bike is the display on it. I've not actually quite seen a display like this one, so let's have a look at that in detail. Now the reason it's quite different is on this bike the remote control is the display, and the display is the remote control, if you see what I mean, and it simply moves backwards and forwards, and you go through the 4 different modes on the bike. And I think I was quite surprised. I've never seen it before. In terms of the prices on these bikes, they range from €4,700 up to just under 6,000. Wheel sizes 27.5 and 29, and like I said, I think Knox is one of the few brands that has a range of motors, and if you ever wondered what Knox means, it means no more excuses. So we just looked at some variety of Knox bikes. Now if you ever wondered what the physical dimensions and differences between say a Zax motor and a Brose motor are, then it's just right here. As you can see, the bruiser motor is significantly smaller than the Zax motor. However, the bruiser kicks out 95 Newton meters of torque and the Zax 112 Newton meters of torque. So that means if you want really super crazy technical trails, then I'm guessing maybe the Zax has the upper edge. However, you need to factor in the software of the two motors as well, because the bruiser motor also has a very, very effective climbing performance on super technical trails. The only difference otherwise is, as you can see, the side profiles there, sideways on, pretty similar. It's just that overall shape and size of the Zax is a little bit bigger. Bosch ambassador and trials legend Stefan Schlee is here at the Testival. Why do they call it Testivals? Why do they call it Testivals?
Because you can test everything, and above all you can test our Bosch products. I just come back from a tour with some very happy people now, and the truth is it's so good to be on a festival again with all the people. So good.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to is getting up into those hills. I guess you can see the view of the Dolomites, can't you?
A beautiful view on the beautiful weather on the e-bike. What you need more?
Now this looks like a absolute flying machine, 180, 170 mil travel, weighing in at 19 kilos. This is the Rotwild G375, as 375 suggests, 375 watt hour battery. Now the cool thing about this bike is that Rotwild have got two presets on it. You can either have the 85 Newton meter configuration or the 65 Newton meter configuration. But I think for me, the fact that it's like amazing angles, 62.8. You've got a really low stand over there. The travel. Now we saw the production version of this bike in the IAA show in Munich, but I think for me it's the pre-production paint job is absolutely stunning. So yeah, you can see the production one, but for me this is the bike that really takes it. Absolutely awesome. Now this isn't a production bike, it is actually a Shimano EP8 sort of show model, but behind the paintwork is actually a propane e-Cano, and I think this Shimano paintwork, they got the matching fork, the frame, swinging arm and the gumwall tyres. I think it's a looker. Jerome Clements is one of the most successful enduro riders in the world, and he's here in Brixen hopefully to give us some insight into the trails. What are the trails like here in Brixen there, Jerome?
Yeah, different kind. Like just on the lower part is like mix of forest and like field, and in the upper parts where the lifts are, some nice forest and really loamy sections. So, but steep overall.
I'm sorry to disturb you. You seem to be having a bit of an issue here at the minute.
Yeah, the people try the bike, test the bike, and sometimes they crash. So someone crash and pull the cable out. So just to replace it.
But that's the whole thing about is Brixen. It's the Testival. People come here to test bikes, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they are for. So we don't complain. They use our bikes, and we are here to support them.
Are they using your bike? I see some signature on it.
Yes, because one bike was missing, so I gave my personal bike.
And you're not precious about that?
It's okay. I have other bikes at home.
One question we get frequently asked on EMBN is what e-mountain bike you choose, what travel, what battery, and of course what motor. But more importantly, what specification would you apply to the bike? Now this is an Rotwild. It's been custom spec'd by the editor of a German magazine. It's won some awards as well. To give you some detail of the Rotwild, it's 29 front and rear, 160 rear, 170 front in terms of travel. This is the full carbon frame, but the important part is Orbea actually offer you your own custom paint job. So this guy has gone for a very nice kind of looking sort of blue, turquoisey royal blue colour. But yeah, the component spec, what has he gone for? Well, starting from the rear, we've got some DT Swiss hybrid wheels on here, alloy, not carbon, Maxxis tyres, Shimano XT cassette, derailleur and shifter. He's gone for a Robert's own seat post with a Physique saddle and some carbon handlebars. So the spec is not overly crazy, but still, I mean, the price is quite significant. This bike weighs in around 8,300 euros, and the weight, about 22 kilos, which puts it up there as one of the lightest mid-travel to long-travel e-mountain bikes on the market. But this bike's actually caught my attention as well. This is the All Bear Gain. It's a kind of gravel bike. It's got the Marley X3 hub drive motor on there. You don't actually get to see the hub drive from Marley too often. Obviously, Marley are the manufacturer of the specialised Levo SL mid-drive motor. I really like the lights in it. Check this out, folks. Hopefully it'll come on. Will it come on? It will come on. There you go. But certainly a bike I would like to use to explore the woodland around my home. So two very nice examples of e-mountain bikes for different uses.